Pride rarely announces itself loudly. It does not always appear as arrogance, boasting, or visible superiority. Often it hides beneath talent, success, intelligence, spiritual gifts, or even humility that seeks recognition. Pride is subtle. It whispers instead of shouting. It convinces instead of commands. And that is why it is so dangerous. It destroys destinies quietly, gradually, almost invisibly, until the damage is undeniable. Pride is not merely thinking highly of yourself. It is thinking independently of God. It is the silent shift from "God did this through me" to "I did this." It is the subtle replacement of dependence with self-sufficiency. The moment a believer begins to rely more on their strength than on God's grace, pride has begun to build a throne in the heart. Scripture warns clearly about its danger. In the book of Proverbs 16:18, it says, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Notice the order. Pride comes first. The fall follows. The destruction is not random. It is the consequence of internal elevation. When the heart lifts itself too high, stability weakens underneath. Pride was the original sin in the spiritual realm. Lucifer was not cast down because of weakness, but because of pride. The desire to elevate himself above his position led to his fall. Pride always seeks elevation without submission. It desires glory without obedience. It wants authority without accountability. That pattern has not changed. For a believer, pride can appear in many forms. It can appear as intellectual pride, believing you know more than others, refusing correction, dismissing counsel. It can appear as spiritual pride, looking down on others because of your prayer life, your knowledge of Scripture, or your discipline. It can appear as hidden pride, silently comparing yourself to others and measuring your worth by superiority. It can even appear as wounded pride, being deeply offended because your ego was touched. One of the most dangerous aspects of pride is that it resists correction. A humble heart receives rebuke and grows. A proud heart defends itself immediately. When someone corrects you, how do you respond? Do you reflect, or do you react? Pride feels threatened by accountability. It protects image at all costs. It would rather justify wrong behavior than admit weakness. Pride also distorts your relationship with God. When success increases, gratitude can slowly fade. What once felt like a miracle begins to feel normal. Prayer becomes shorter. Dependence becomes lighter. You begin to operate on past victories rather than present surrender. This is how destinies quietly shift off course. The external appearance of success remains, but internal alignment weakens. In the Epistle of James 4:6, it says that God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. This is a sobering reality. It does not say God ignores the proud. It says He resists them. Imagine building something in your life while God is opposing the pride within you. No destiny can thrive when grace is resisted. Grace flows toward humility. Favor rests upon surrender. Pride isolates. It creates distance between you and others. It makes collaboration difficult. It makes apology rare. It makes forgiveness complicated. A proud heart struggles to say, "I was wrong." It struggles to admit, "I need help." But isolation weakens stability. Community strengthens it. Pride convinces you that you do not need others. Humility recognizes interdependence. There is also the pride of self-reliance. This form is particularly deceptive because it often appears responsible and disciplined. Working hard is good. Planning is wise. Excellence is honorable. But when those qualities replace reliance on God, they become dangerous. When prayer becomes optional because you trust your strategy, pride has begun to take root. When you believe your intelligence guarantees success, pride is quietly forming cracks beneath your foundation. Consider the example of King Saul. He began with humility, aware of his limitations, but over time, pride grew. He began to act independently of God's instruction. He feared losing reputation more than losing obedience. He justified partial obedience, and gradually the kingdom was torn from his hands. His destiny was not destroyed overnight. It eroded through repeated moments of pride. Contrast that with King David. David was not perfect. He fell seriously. But when confronted, he humbled himself. He repented sincerely. Humility restored what pride would have permanently destroyed. The difference was not perfection, it was posture. God can restore a broken but humble heart. He resists a proud but polished one. Pride also corrupts motives. You may begin serving God sincerely, but over time, the desire for recognition can slip in. Ministry becomes performance. Service becomes competition. Impact becomes comparison. You begin measuring success by visibility rather than faithfulness. Pride shifts focus from God's glory to personal validation. When applause becomes necessary for motivation, pride has gained influence. Another subtle form of pride is comparison. When you constantly compare yourself to others, whether to feel superior or inferior, you are still centered on self. Pride is not only thinking you are better, it is being consumed with yourself. True humility is freedom from constant self-focus. It is security in God's calling without the need to measure against someone else. Destiny is protected by humility. When you remain aware that everything you have is by grace, gratitude replaces entitlement. When you recognize your limitations, dependence deepens. When you invite correction, growth accelerates. Humility keeps you teachable. It keeps you flexible. It keeps you grounded when success increases. Humility does not mean thinking poorly of yourself. It means thinking of yourself accurately. It means recognizing your gifts without idolizing them. It means acknowledging your achievements without worshiping them. It means knowing your value without demanding constant validation. Humility is strength that bows before God. The antidote to pride is intentional surrender. Regularly examine your heart. Ask God to reveal hidden motives. Welcome accountability. Celebrate others genuinely. Practice gratitude daily. Remember where God brought you from. Reflect on your weaknesses so you never forget your need for grace. Keep prayer central. Keep worship sincere. Keep your heart soft. Pride grows in environments where success is not balanced with gratitude. It grows where influence is not balanced with accountability. It grows where gifting is not balanced with character. If you protect your talent but neglect your character, pride will eventually undermine what you built. The silent destruction of pride is tragic because it often happens while everything appears stable on the outside. Ministries can flourish while hearts drift. Careers can rise while humility declines. Influence can expand while dependence shrinks. But God looks at the heart, and destiny is sustained not by visibility, but by integrity. If you sense pride rising within you, do not ignore it. Confront it quickly. Pride thrives when tolerated. It weakens when confessed. The more quickly you humble yourself, the less painful the lesson will be. Sometimes God allows humbling experiences not to shame you, but to save you. Correction can be protection. A humble heart attracts grace. It invites wisdom. It strengthens relationships. It secures destiny. Pride seeks elevation, but produces collapse. Humility seeks surrender, but produces stability. The choice between them is daily, sometimes moment by moment. Your destiny is too valuable to be destroyed by silent pride. Guard your heart carefully. Stay low before God, and He will lift you at the right time. Remain teachable, and you will continue growing. Remain grateful, and success will not corrupt you. Remain dependent, and grace will sustain you. Pride may be silent, but so is humility. The difference is that one quietly destroys, while the other quietly builds a life that can endure any season without falling.